Eurofit Auto Centres, the leading MOT and service centres in West Midlands, are recruiting technicians, MOT testers and managers. There's a starting salary of £30,000 based on experience, and a minimum 5 years experience is necessary. For details, call Rashad at Eurofit Auto Centres on 01902 404045. That's Eurofit Auto Centres on 01902 404045.
Northern Gas Heating, celebrating 24 years of reliable heating and renewable energy solutions for your home. We have unbeatable offers on gas boilers, fully installed by our professional engineers. If your business or home is paying high electricity prices, call for a free Northern Gas Heating quote for cost-effective solar PV with battery storage. Visit northerngasheating.com or call 0800 083 1000.
Ramadan Kareem from Premier Tyres, suppliers of the tyres you can rely on for safe driving, as they're the only link between your vehicle and the road. And as well as leading tyre brands, Premier's your reliable go-to garage for servicing, spares, repairs and MOTs. Now available, Wolverhampton taxi plated cars for hire. Now Uber and Bolt ready, so you can run your business in confidence. For details, visit Premier Tyres, Crown Street, WV1 1PX. Call 01902 455 684 or visit premiertyreservices.com.
Experience the AK Windows difference. Visit our HQ at Economic House, Salisbury Street, Wolverhampton, WV3 OBG. Discover quality UPVC and aluminium windows, doors, roof lanterns, bifolding doors and composite doors in various styles. Offering glass and UPVC repairs too. With over 30 years of experience, AK Windows is your trusted choice for both trade and retail. For free quotations, call 01902 421 500 or visit akwindows.co.uk. Elevate your living with AK Windows. Precision, quality, satisfaction.
Midland Plastics and Plumbing Limited, your one-stop shop for home and bathrooms. A wide range of plumbing products and quality bathroom supplies in Wolverhampton. We supply underground drainage, guttering, roofing products, UPVC cladding and much more to the trade and public. This Ramadan, we're offering 40% off all bathroom suites. Visit us online at midlandplasticsltd.co.uk or call us today on 01902 399 611. Or why not visit in-store at Moore Street South, Wolverhampton, WV2 3JN.
Mubi Bass Electronics, specialist in car audio and home entertainment. Suppliers of leading brands Samsung, Sony and
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والعاقبة للمتقين والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء وإمام المرسلين سيدنا ومولانا محمد وعلى آله وأصحابه أجمعين اللهم فقهنا في الدين وعلمنا التأويل وجعلنا من خير أمة سيدنا محمد عليه أفضل الصلاة وأتم التسليم اللهم لا علم لنا إلا ما علمتنا إنك أنت العليم الحكيم. We seek Allah's protection from knowledge that does not benefit, from a heart that has no khushu, from a nafs that's never had enough, from an eye that does not tear, and from a dua that's not heard. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome back to Ramadan Radio, Wolverhampton, 87.8 FM. You can listen to us, view us on Facebook, YouTube. Also, inshallah, everyone's Ramadan is going well. Truly, we have now we're kind of coming to the end of Ramadan. Okay, so just over a week to go, and it still seems fresh in my mind when we had this first. So ours was the first live session for Ramadan, and we spoke about how Ramadan will go by really fast. Exactly what's happened. Inshallah, everyone's Ramadan is going well. Actually, that's the key here. I did yesterday because. Yesterday in terms of when we enter the last 10 nights of Ramadan, so I did some short videos to talk about how we can make the most of them, or say make the most of them, but simple actions that then will go a long way. And it was funny actually because I put it up and someone did not really like it, saying that, oh, so we can ignore the fact that, we're fasting and this and getting close to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, submitting to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, submitting to Islam, and what else was there? I think feeling how people are hungry. So ignore all that and let's just go for this short hack. And look at that, he's even calling it a hack. So someone didn't really like the name that I come out with. But anyway, we need to kind of settle down a bit. The idea here is to just, for those, like I mentioned last week, actually, that people are at different levels, or was it before that? People are at different levels. Everyone's got their different goals. Someone will be doing so much more, someone will be doing less, but everyone is for themselves. And sometimes I say sometimes, but pretty much most of us will feel, and I suppose we should all be feeling this, that we've probably not done enough in Ramadan, because no one should genuinely be satisfied, oh yeah, I've done more than enough, because we never can do enough, truly and honestly. So our view should always be that, look, there's so much more that we can do. And actually, now that you come to the last 10 nights of Ramadan, make the most of them. Okay, make the most of them. The Prophet ﷺ would do so much ibadah in these last 10 nights. Okay, whereas previously he would kind of go to sleep a bit, but in these last 10 nights he would not sleep at all at night. He just kind of focused completely on ibadah. The mistake we make here, and I think this is important here, is that first of all we were told, look, the last 10 nights. Okay, so what we do is actually we just focus all the way on the 27th night. This is the Laylatul Qadr. That's what we think. And some is actually case not even in focusing on that. It's like, okay, that's fine. Not last. We won't just focus on one night, but we'll focus just on the odd nights. Okay. So it's a mistake we make, is that you need to focus on all 10 nights. Okay, look, 10 nights is not asking for much. Okay. We don't know where they're going to fall, and this is the way the hadith is rated as well. The last 10 nights, but then I suppose then it's definitely the kind of odd nights. But we need to. The Prophet ﷺ, all 10 nights he would do so much ibadah. So have that mentality. So when I was trying to simplify, I just said, look, do simple actions. If some people, they can't do so much, so it's a case of, look, if you can't do anything else, this is the bare minimum that you should be doing. So some of the things I spoke about, giving charity. Okay, every night give some charity, even £1. Okay, if you've got like a charity box or a sadaqah box, put it in there. That's going to go to sadaqah. There was reading the Surah Ikhlas 3 times. Surah Ikhlas is 1/3 of the Quran. There was reading plenty of salawat. Okay, reciting plenty of salawat as much as possible. Multiplying your intentions. All these kind of things. Reading Quran, reciting Quran. So there's all of these kind of things. Like if nothing else, right? So there's so much that we can. Obviously, when we speak about reciting Surah Ikhlas 3 times, easily you've read one Quran, because the Prophet ﷺ says, and sorry, I'll just bring some context into it. The Prophet ﷺ gathered the Sahaba. He says, look, come, we're going to recite 1/3 of the Quran. So you can imagine this Sahaba actually, it's like late at night after they're all tired, and they're thinking, here we go, we're going to recite a 1/3 of the Quran. So it's going to be a long night basically. And then the Prophet ﷺ recites Surah Ikhlas, and they're thinking, what happened there? And the Prophet ﷺ said, this is 1/3 of the Quran. So reciting it 3 times, full Quran. And I remember one of my cousins actually once, it's a while back, he goes, it doesn't make sense to me. So just by reciting Surah Ikhlas 3 times, that's how I've recited the full Quran. What you got to understand here is that, look, the Prophet ﷺ, time and time again, he's looked to make things easy for us. Okay, so look, guys, do simple action like this and look how much reward you get. No doubt, if you're going to sit and you're going to recite the entire Quran, you're going to get so much more reward. Okay, but it's just, these are kind of like, look, if you can't, like, when someone looks at it, well, 30 juz, there's so much to be recited there. I can't do it. So, remember when we spoke about the whispers of the shaitan kind of looking ways to trick us. That's one of them. It's just too much. You won't be able to do it. Forget it. So you can't do it. So let's leave everything. So don't even do a small portion. But here we were talking about, look, do small portions. You got the reward. And then when people build up on that, they think, well, wait a minute, that was easy. I'm sure I can do more. And then I can do more. And then this is it. Then consistency, that's important. I think this is where this all comes about from. Okay. So what we have is the night of our Laylatul Qadr, the night equivalent to 1,000 months. And again, another mercy from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for us, that here you go. And actually, one of the kind of beauties of the mercy, the fact that we don't know the actual night of power. So the Prophet ﷺ was going to come out to inform the people, but he saw two people arguing, and then it was kind of taken away. So then he did not inform them this is the night. So he then gives them the last 10 nights of Ramadan. Okay, and specifically one more specifics than that, then the odd nights. Okay, but what's our job? Well, our job is to focus on all 10 nights. Okay, we talk about itikaf. Those that are sitting at itikaf, they will definitely hit the Laylatul Qadr. But I mean, obviously, there's so much more reward when it comes to itikaf for them. But the bare minimum is the fact that they will definitely hit Laylatul Qadr, because every night they will have that consistent ibadah that they will be doing. That's what we should be doing as well, even if it's a small portion. Okay, one of the other things I said was that in the short videos, one of the kind of hacks is that you pray Isha in congregation, and the Prophet says is as if you've prayed half the night, and you pray Fajr in congregation is as if you've prayed, like follow it with praying Fajr in congregation is as if you've prayed the full night. Okay, so these little things that we can do, if it's a case of someone's going to stay awake, and I've seen it so many times. So people, specifically on the 27th night, so people stay awake. Okay, so we pray Isha, and people stay awake all the way doing ibadah. Come about an hour before Fajr time, they feel sleepy, they fall asleep, and they're so tired that they'll miss Zuhur, they miss Fajr. Okay, Fajr is obligatory. Okay, missing Fajr is a sin. So Fajr is obligatory. So yes, you've prayed throughout the night, which is optional. Okay, ibadah, good for you. But you've turned around and missed something that's obligatory. So imagine that. So what would have been better, rather than praying all the night, doing ibadah all the night, is read Isha, go to sleep, but then you're waking up for Fajr, and you're reading Fajr. So you understand this? You need to kind of balance things out. So our main goal here is now, what is our main goal? Main goal is paradise at the end of the day. So for us, our end goal is paradise. So the Prophet ﷺ has kind of brought us descriptions of paradise, unlike any other religion or prophet. Okay, Miftahul Jannah. This is one of the names of the Prophet ﷺ. He is the key to Jannah. So again here, when we do these this Seerah show, time and time again, we're linking to the Prophet ﷺ. Time and time again, we're speaking about the Prophet ﷺ. So this is the Prophet ﷺ is the key to Jannah for us. Okay? And the kind of greatest way to appreciate the Prophet ﷺ is to appreciate what he's done for us. And there's so much that can be said on that. And I have said on that. But he is the first to enter, and some of the views is in the Bible, but he's the first to enter Jannah, paradise. Okay, the Prophet ﷺ will be the one who will kind of slam, like knock at the doors, kind of let me in. The gatekeeper, the guardians will ask who it is, and will say, and he'll say, like, I've been commanded to not, and the guardian will say that I've been commanded not to open the door for anyone before you. Now, subhanAllah, just imagine. And this is it, we have to have high hopes here. Inshallah, we aim for the best. We aim that we'll be under the banner of the Prophet ﷺ. We'll be one of those. Can you imagine that? On Judgment Day, where you have when this mention about every prophet have a small pockets. Some prophets, they won't have any followers. When it comes to Prophet ﷺ, it's just so many. And actually, it says that some, the other prophets are also under the banner of the Prophet ﷺ. Yeah. So our hope is that inshallah we will be one of those. So you imagine this, this kind of scene. You're waiting there. We're waiting there. From far away, we can inshallah see the doors of Jannah. We're not probably lucky to be one of the ones at the front, but inshallah we have hope that we're one of those. That we see the doors of Jannah. There's some going on. There's some knocking going on, and then the doors of Jannah are finally opened for us. And it's the Prophet ﷺ right at the front there, right? He's the first one. And then some is that like a case of that, it's a case of he will not fully enter until So it's a case of like he's the first one to enter, but then almost like return back out that my ummah will enter. So he will be then the last one to finally kind of enter, and then there you go. Then we're all here now. I mean, like I said, there's long narrations, etc. on this. There's a talk on actually YouTube on my channel where we looked at Judgment Day and some of the events of Judgment Day, and we looked at paradise, and we looked at hell, because it's important actually. The last 10 nights are for forgiveness, for kind of protection from hellfire. Okay, for us, for protection from hellfire. So time and time again, for protection from hellfire. The du'as in terms of what continuously, Allahumma innaka afuwwun tuhibbul afwa fa'fu anni. Time and time again, this is a du'a we should be reading. Okay? So we should be aware of it. When we talk about paradise, the descriptions we get kind of draw us towards it. That's our goal. That's our gift, and that's what we're aiming for. But at the same time, we also have descriptions of hell to say, look, guys, that's what we don't want. Okay, we got to stay away from there. Right? So actually, when we move on, there was just like a quick how things are going. Today, we'll speak a bit about for the break. We'll speak a bit about the last 10 days, a bit more about it. Just quickly mention the riddle from last week. Okay, so the riddle from last week was: everyone has been given permission. Everyone is ready for the mission. What is the delay for this beloved? Maybe Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will grant you the best of companions. Okay? Everyone has been given permission. Everyone is ready for the mission. What is the delay for this beloved? Maybe Allah will grant you the best of companions. Now this is describing the time for who? Saying that Abu Bakr Siddiq. Okay, and we'll touch upon the Hijr today. But saying that Abu Bakr Siddiq was, everyone else was being given permission to migrate. And saying that Abu Bakr Siddiq would kind of come to the Prophet ﷺ, kind of, when's my time? And the Prophet ﷺ says, hold on. Maybe Allah has plans, you have a better companion, meaning the Prophet ﷺ, right? He didn't say like that, he says, maybe you'll have a better companion when you need to go. Okay, so this was the case. This was for the Hijrah. So that's the situation. It's talking about Sayyidina Abu Bakr Siddiq specifically when they were setting off for the Hijrah. Anyway, so the Prophet ﷺ in the last Ashura, so the last 10 days, was ibadah for the last 10 days, 10 nights, was such that he would kind of, the description that's given, he would tightly tie his back. So, I mean, when they talk about the izhar, that they used to wear the lower kind of garment, and the description given, he would tighten that. I didn't trying to say that it's a metaphor for kind of great effort and endeavors. Like you're putting in a lot of effort. Okay. Now, whilst in the rest of Ramadan, he would kind of rest for a while, like I mentioned, during the night. In the last Ashura, he would abstain from even the slightest rest and stay awake all night in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's worship. This was his way. Also, would keep awake the rest of his household, not only his wife, but anyone that can pray, he would keep them awake. Okay, and I suppose the wisdom of teaching forgiveness. So the Prophet ﷺ kind of taught people to seek forgiveness on this sacred and blessed occasion. Okay, now ulama comment on this actually all throughout Ramadan, and in particular the last Ashura and Laylatul Qadr, and we strive, so much in worship, and there's danger that we begin to rely on our action and believe these are enough, and turn our hope away from Allah's mercy and grace. So this is important. So we speak about these hacks, etc. So all of these things, we do whatever we need to do consistently over the last 10 nights. We're guaranteed to hit Laylatul Qadr, meaning 1,000 months of worship, guys. That's more than enough. No, okay. We can't undertake these deeds worthy of his kind of court. It doesn't matter how many we do. Okay, we can't thank him for even one of his blessings. I know, I always give this description of, do we thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for the fact that we can blink? And if we weren't allowed to blink, then our kind of eyes would dry up and you go blind. So simple action of blinking, that's a mercy from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The smallest of blessings, we can't make up for even that. Okay, so the lesson here is that we have lots of sins, so we should continually seek Allah's forgiveness rather than His pleasure. So continually, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala likes it when people ask for forgiveness. Okay, and He said that if there were two groups of people, one that would never sin and another that would sin but then ask for forgiveness, I choose the one that sins. I prefer the one that sins and asks for forgiveness. So we are humans. Our nature is to sin. That's one of the definitions of a human. So we need to continuously ask for forgiveness. Continuously ask for forgiveness. Right? Also, I just want to quickly mention, just in case, because if we don't next week, but the last kind of night of Ramadan, people that neglect it a lot. So just as we would, describe the virtues of the first night of Ramadan, he says some would also highlight the greatness and honor of the last night of Ramadan. So Sayyidina Abu Hurairah radiallahu ta'ala anhu narrates that the Prophet ﷺ said that my ummah has been given 5 things in relation to Ramadan. And he would also highlight the greatness and honor of the last night of Ramadan. Sorry, my people have been given 5 things in relation to Ramadan, which were not given to any other nation. Okay, one of those was the odor from the mouth of the fasting person is more beloved to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala than musk. Okay. So the smell, due to the fact that you've not been eating and exposed to the heat, etc., that kind of builds inside that smell is more beloved to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala than musk. We're not talking about like you've not been brushed, you're not cleaned your teeth at all, etc. You got the miswak and all that, it is fine. But it's just that natural and smell that comes out because of the fact that you're fasting. All right. Number 2, until iftar, the angels seek forgiveness for the fasting person. Until iftar, the angels seek forgiveness for the fasting person. Number 3, paradise is decorated every day with the promise that its inhabitants will be arriving soon. Okay. Number 4, the devils are chained and restrained in Ramadan. And number 5, the ummah is forgiven in the last night, on the last night. And he was asked, is that Laylatul Qadr? So the Sahaba, we got to thank him so much that all of these questions are asked and we get these answers. And they asked, is that Laylatul Qadr, Ya Rasulullah? And he replied, no, the worker is only paid on completing his work. Okay, the worker is only paid on completing his work. So the Sahaba would kind of spend 6 months making dua to attain Ramadan, and then 6 months for its acceptance. So after Ramadan, they're going to be spending all those months for the acceptance, all the ibadah we've done in Ramadan accepted. Okay, so that's when it comes to the last few nights of Ramadan. Okay, so I think it's important for us. I think, subhanAllah, this time round, it's been, especially look the past few days, people have been off anyway, right? So inshallah, they have been maintaining, they've made the most of that. But you've got this situation, especially for youngsters, okay? So you've got this break, Easter break, right? University students, school, etc. They're all off. Right? So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given you an opportunity. Whereas previously, I need to get up for school, get up for university, etc. So I need to rest. But this time, look, subhanAllah, and it's unfortunate actually, because and you guys will all kind of, I suppose most of you will agree with me on this, that in these kind of situations we become more lazy. Right? If we had kind of university or work, etc. in the morning, right, we still probably would do a bit more about that. But because of this, we become really lazy, right? It's unfortunate, but so definitely kind of plan it well and make the most of these 10 nights. And those that are working, again, the way it is that I know the clocks have gone forward on 1 hour now, but it's still not too late, right? So even when you get back from Tarawih, there's still a certain amount of ibadah that you can do, even those like little things that I mentioned, even by doing that, right? And then obviously there's so much more that can be done on weekends, etc. But just kind of plan it out, and don't let these 10 nights go to waste, because we do not know if we'll be lucky enough to see these again. And I think this is the key, and this is really important. You look around you, many of us, friends and family members who are no longer with us, okay, who were with us last Ramadan, but they're not this Ramadan. Would we have ever thought the fact that no, they will not be with us? Okay? No, the hope is always that we'll be there. But it can be any of us. It could be that this is our last Ramadan. It could be the last time we're going to be given. Allah Ta'ala has given us an opportunity to pray, do ibadah in these last 10 nights. An opportunity for the final time to hit Laylatul Qadr. How do you want to be wasting that? Laylatul Qadr, the night of power. But you've got your normal routine of this, eat away, social media, talking, TV, whatever. Now go through all these dramas, this drama, this movie, that movie, this show, that show, and you've wasted that night. You're probably not going to get that opportunity again. So I know I'm trying to say, you can say, look, trying to be a bit strict, but I think sometimes we need that as well. Okay, and it's not asking for too much. So you're not saying, look, throughout the year, here you go. You're saying, look, there's 10 nights, right? Actually, there's less than that now. Make the most of it. Do as much ibadah as you can, because we don't know if we're going to be lucky enough to see these again. Anyway, after the break, we'll touch upon some key events. I want to try to move from the Meccan period to a bit of the Medinan period as well. So we'll see what time we have and how much we can get through. Maybe we won't go into too much detail, but we'll start off. I mean, there is the Hijrah. It's a key one because that's something that is massive, and I think we, I suppose, underrate it, or kind of the significance of it. And if you really truly understand what was asked from the people, what they were asked to be, doing, what is the Hijrah truly, you would truly be amazed about it. But inshallah, we'll speak about that after the break. So we'll see you on the other side. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Eurofit Auto Centres, the leading MOT and service centres in West Midlands, are recruiting technicians, MOT testers and managers. There's a starting salary of £30,000 based on experience, and a minimum 5 years experience is necessary. For details, call Rashad at Eurofit Auto Centres on 01902 404045. That's Eurofit Auto Centres on 01902 404045.
Northern Gas Heating, celebrating 24 years of reliable heating and renewable energy solutions for your home. We have unbeatable offers on gas boilers, fully installed by our professional engineers. If your business or home is paying high electricity prices, call for a free Northern Gas Heating quote for cost-effective solar PV with battery storage. Visit northerngasheating.com or call 0800 083 1000.
Ramadan Kareem from Premier Tyres, suppliers of the tyres you can rely on for safe driving, as they're the only link between your vehicle and the road. And as well as leading tyre brands, Premier's your reliable go-to garage for servicing, spares, repairs and MOTs. Now available, Wolverhampton taxi plated cars for hire. Now Uber and Bolt ready, so you can run your business in confidence. For details, visit Premier Tyres, Crown Street, WV1 1PX. Call 01902 455 684 or visit premiertyreservices.com.
Experience the AK Windows difference. Visit our HQ at Economic House, Salisbury Street, Wolverhampton, WV3 OBG. Discover quality UPVC and aluminium windows, doors, roof lanterns, bifolding doors and composite doors in various styles. Offering glass and UPVC repairs too. With over 30 years of experience, AK Windows is your trusted choice for both trade and retail. For free quotations, call 01902 421 500 or visit akwindows.co.uk. Elevate your living with AK Windows. Precision, quality, satisfaction.
Midland Plastics and Plumbing Limited, your one-stop shop for home and bathrooms. A wide range of plumbing products and quality bathroom supplies in Wolverhampton. We supply underground drainage, guttering, roofing products, UPVC cladding, and much more to the trade and public. This Ramadan, we're offering 40% off all bathroom suites. Visit us online at midlandplasticsltd.co.uk or call us today on 01902 399 611. Or why not visit in-store at Moore Street South, Wolverhampton, WV2 3JN.
Mubi Bass Electronics, specialist in car audio and home entertainment. Suppliers of leading brands, Samsung, Sony, and Panasonic. We supply and fit all car audio systems, top brands, Kenwood, Bose, and we're an authorized supplier of Vibe product. Visit our store online at mubibase.co.uk and order today for next day delivery. Mubi Bass Electronics are proud sponsors of Wolverhampton Wanderers FC. Call us today for a free quote on 01902 754 546 and quote Ramadan 20 for 10% off. Follow us on Instagram and Facebook at Mubi Bass Electronics, specialist in car audio and home entertainment.
Khan Builders offer a full range of building services, from major rebuilds to small projects, home improvements, kitchen fitting, plastering, bathroom fitting, extensions, and much more. We pride ourselves on providing a professional, caring, and high-quality service and always meet our customers' needs. Contact Khan Builders today on 07813 950 265 for a free quotation from Khan Builders. We've all spent a lot of time at home lately, and it's time to notice those carpets really need replacing. Let's be honest, we don't want to go from shop to shop, do we? Well, Perfect Carpets can save you the time and bring perfection to your floor. Over 1,000 high-quality styles and colours. Carpets start from only £3 per square yard. Rugs from £30. There's free measurements and free quotation with exclusive trade discounts to landlords and builders. You can't get any more perfect. Make your home with Perfect Carpets, the Black Country's biggest carpet store. Call us today on 01902 428 833 or visit us at 21 to 25 Snow Hill, Wolverhampton, WV2 4AD, and quote Ramadan Radio for 5% off your next order.
Quick Build Construction Limited offer a full range of building services, from major rebuilds to small projects, home improvements, kitchen fitting, plastering, bathroom fitting, extensions, and much more. We pride ourselves on providing a professional, caring, and high-quality service, and always meet our customers' needs. Contact Quick Build Construction today on 07813 950 265 for a free quotation from Quick Build Construction.
Do you have a family member that's passed away and you would like someone to assist you in legal advice? Kenneth Jones Solicitors has been providing legal services for businesses and individuals since 1986. We specialise in probate, Islamic wills and family law. We also offer services in conveyancing, immigration and personal injury. Contact us today on 01.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalatu wassalamu ala Sayyidina Rasulullah wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wa sallam alayka ya Habiballah. Welcome back to Ramadan Radio 87.8 FM. You can follow us and watch us on Facebook also and YouTube. So, before the break, we were speaking about the last 10 nights of Ramadan and how to make the most of it. What I want to kind of now move on to is the Seerah, so lesson that we can kind of learn from the Seerah. So we spoke about how, obviously, part of the Seerah also in terms of how the Prophet ﷺ would spend his time last 10 nights of Ramadan in Ibadah. But here specifically, as we were going through the journey, and we reached basically, when you can say, the Hijrah. Now the Hijrah, it's about, so what can we take from it actually? It's about getting out of your comfort zone. I think that's the kind of key, I suppose, theme that you can take from it. Now, imagine the scenario here that the Prophet ﷺ, the persecution, etc., being done to him, to the Muslims, etc. So he had to get out, even though within Makkah he was still protected, but he decided to kind of get out of his comfort zone and try something different. his journey to Taif, for example, where, he was stoned, where children were set upon him, where he was bleeding, all blood dripping through from his sandals. When asked later, he goes, that was the most difficult time. When Sayyida Aisha mentioned, what's your most difficult time? And he mentioned Taif as being the most difficult time. So he had to go out of his comfort zone. He went away, away from that protection, etc. And look what happened. But finally, obviously, at the end of it all, when it's like after doing everything, it's almost like the Prophet ﷺ just says, look, I don't have any tricks left in the bag. He puts up his hands to ask from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And this is important for us as well. When all the means have been exhausted and you don't have kind of any trick left in your bag, you raise your hand and you ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, help me. And I say, help me. I've tried everything from my side, help me. And so when it comes to the hijrah, remember, understand this basically. Look, people are being asked to leave everything. This is their land. This is where they're born. This is where they lived all their life. And it's just a case of pack your bags and off you go. Actually, for a lot of them, there isn't really much of a pack your bag as well, because you have to leave everything there. They had to leave quietly. You couldn't, because the Quraysh, they would not have allowed them to go, right? Unless it was Sayyidina Umar. Sayyidina Umar, he wasn't one to leave quietly. He goes to the kind of like the center, you can almost say the center of the marketplace, the city center, etc. Stands there by the Kaaba, where everyone's going around, and he stands there. He says, "I'm leaving for the Hijrah. I'm migrating." Okay, and if anyone got an issue with that, and if anyone wants the kind of description, their wives to be widowed or all of these kind of things, come and see me at this place. I'll be waiting. So if you guys got an issue, come and see me. I'll be waiting for you. Okay, with my sword as well. He's got his sword in his hand. And actually, because of Sayyidina Umar, some of the kind of weak and poor Muslims, they tagged along with him, because they knew that, look, no one's going to do anything to him, so we can just tag along with him as well and go. When he came to the Prophet ﷺ, obviously, we spoke about the riddle as well, that Sayyidina Abu Bakr Siddiq was his companion, anyway, and he was pretty much one of the kind of, I suppose, the last ones that he left. He showed everyone else kind of leaving. But when the Prophet ﷺ left, he left Sayyidina Ali at his house in Mecca. And what he did was he left him there. Why did he leave him there? He left him there to return the belongings of the people of Mecca. Subhanallah, look at this. Even though they feared him, they hated his message, they wanted to kill him, they wanted to persecute him, to torture him, but they kept their valuables with him, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, for safekeeping. That's how much they trusted him. And again, last week we spoke so much about his trustworthiness and truthfulness, etc. This is it. Okay, what kind of trust are you talking about here? That the people had. What kind of trustworthiness are you talking about? That the person you're trying to kill, you tell him you take care of my things, take care of my things forever, please, because I don't trust anyone else in Mecca. Even though you're trying to, he's your enemy, but you still give your belongings to him, that you take care of them, because I don't trust anyone else in Mecca. Okay, but I trust you. Okay, even though I think you're lying about Revelation, but I trust you. You understand? It just didn't make sense. It wasn't just a simple thing of that they thought he was lying because he was so trustworthy. It was a lot more to that. Then they knew by accepting him, by accepting what he's trying to say, it will kind of it will cause an issue. Their livelihood, you can almost say. This money they're making, etc. All of these things. They got idols going on. So there was a lot more to it. Okay, there was a lot more to it. So what is this? So the Prophet ﷺ is here. He leaves the sanctity of Makkah. Okay, this blessed place. Okay, his home. Okay, we can speak about all the virtues, things about the place. First revelation from there. You got the Kaabas there, Hajr Aswad, Safa Marwa. The Prophet ﷺ, the rocks of Makkah would greet him when he's walking. There's so much there. Okay, there's so much there to be said about Makkah. The Prophet ﷺ standing there, turning, when he's like, I suppose, at the top of the hill, and then turns around where he's going to see Makkah for the final time. And he's sad. He says, I would never have left you if, my people did not, they're kind of, almost like kicking me out. I would never have left you. And he did not want to leave Makkah. it was very difficult for all those that left Makkah. It was so difficult for them. That this is still though going out of your comfort zone. It's all about going out of your comfort zone. So he's going from a kind of, you can say, a sanctity of Makkah to a place. Although now we speak about Medina and how beautiful and Tayyibah and all this, but at that time it was known as Yathrib, and it was a place of disease. Okay, I won't go into detail obviously why, but we covered it in detail in our Seerah lessons. But it's a place of disease, and he's going from there, from Makkah to a place of disease. So changing a place of disease to Tayyibah. Okay, and we can take from this also is that when like I mentioned earlier, leaving our comfort zone and making this change. So he was willing to leave his comfort zone and make this change. He was going, to a place of disease, and it was a difficult journey. The Prophet ﷺ is 53 years old at this point. 53 years old at this point. And it's not easy to travel. Right? And if you know about the journey, the hijrah journey, the migration journey of the Prophet ﷺ, it was a difficult journey as well. Remember, so when you set off, Medina is north, well, Yathrib at this time, but the Prophet ﷺ sets off in the opposite direction just to put people off, because remember, just before he was about to set off, the Meccans had decided to kill the Prophet ﷺ. They were waiting outside his house, right? But the Prophet ﷺ went past them, and they did not even see him. When he left the house reading Surah Yasin, he even grabbed some dust and put it on to them, and they kind of fell asleep or whatnot. Okay? And they didn't realize what's happened. And again, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala protected the Prophet ﷺ. But here, they still, straight after that, when they found out that he's gone, when they kind of went into the house and they saw in his bed was Sayyidina Ali instead of the Prophet ﷺ, when they then pursue him, they chase him, like, what's happening? They want to get, so this journey, this travel of his was not an easy travel. And at the age of 53 as well. But again, time again, it's out of his comfort zone. Right? So that journey is made. So another thing I want to actually mention is when we talk about the hijrah, and actually the Prophet ﷺ then coming into Yathrib, so bringing that light into Yathrib, and some of the descriptions are given that when he enters Yathrib, it was almost like there was this black cloud that leaves it. Almost the disease it goes, okay, and how the name is then changed. But one of the key things that Prophet ﷺ did, and the hijrah was a turning point actually, it introduced Arabs to a different form of society. Okay? Arabs were all about tribe, loyalty, loyalty to your tribe, etc. So the first here was what the Prophet ﷺ did. The first was to connect the believer to God. The building of the Masjid al-Nabawi. Okay? Second is and actually some say that the second took precedent over the first here, and I'll mention why a bit later. The second is the connection of the Ansar. So when the Prophet ﷺ, so the Ansar are those that were already residing in Medina or Yathrib at that time, and the Muhajirun are those that have migrated from Mecca to Medina. Okay, so this connection of the Ansar and the Muhajirun, okay, to connect these refugees that have come from Mecca but also have come largely penniless. They've had to leave everything, destitute, fleeing, political persecution, but who have kind of years with the Prophet ﷺ. The tarbiyah with the Prophet ﷺ. They have all this, they have far more knowledge. They are far more knowledgeable about the kind of emerging religion, this new brand, this new religion that the people of the Oasis, Yathrib, they don't have. Then you have the people of the Oasis or the Ansar. What do they bring to the table almost? So these guys have spent all this time, the Muhajirin, the migrants have spent all this time with the Prophet ﷺ. We know the religion. We've been taught by the Prophet ﷺ. We can teach you all that aspect. Okay, what are the Ansar going to bring to the table? Okay, some wealthy, some poor, as in any town. Okay, it is whatever it is. That's the way it is. But they don't know the religion, so they're going to help the migrants settle. The migrants will tell them about the religion, and they're going to help them settle. They've accepted it, so they don't know this religion. They accepted it, but they don't know what it, they don't know what it entails. They've accepted the religion, but they don't know what it entails. So there is this kind of connection that takes place between them, and this is called the pact of brotherhood. Okay, this is important, the pact of brotherhood. And the third kind of great act of connection is the connecting together of all these kind of diverse communities of Medina. Communities that only a few years ago were in a state of open warfare with each other. The Prophet ﷺ has to bring unity and peace and prevent the outbreak of civil war. Okay? Don't take this for granted. 5 years ago, the streets were kind of running with blood. You had 5 years ago, the chieftains so there was the two kind of main tribes within Yathrib at that time, Medina, as is known now. So I'm going to keep referring to it as Yathrib because this is what it is still at this point. But don't get confused. But you had these two main tribes, the Aus and the Khazraj. And a large number of the chieftains of the Aus and the Khazraj were killed. Okay? And so it's not an easy place that the Prophet ﷺ is going into. Yathrib so far has lived up to its name. It's lived up to its name. It's a place of difficulty. It's a place of hardship. And the Prophet ﷺ, in order to bring these communities together, he kind of institutes what becomes known as the Covenant of Medina. Okay? Covenant of Medina, which is kind of a political constitution. There's so much to be said on, but this is the difficulty the Prophet ﷺ had. So again, he's left one area, he's gone into another area. It's not a case of, look, everything's now fine and don't worry, we're going to live a happily ever after. No, it's still a difficult time. Okay? Scholars actually say that the brotherhood took priority, which I mentioned, and the point is that putting a brick into a wall. So when we talk about building a masjid, putting a brick into a wall, what's the point of that if you're destroying the love of brotherhood? So a big lesson for us, we need to build our community first, which will kind of naturally flow through to building the masjid kind of thing. So it's not a case of, look, okay, you need a masjid to pray, but we've got so many masjids. Let's take Wolverhampton, for example. I think we've got probably, at least last time I think it was 11. So there's not a shortage of masjids, but how well our community is built. I think that's important here, right? So we can talk about expansion or we got to do a lot more work, etc. But the key here is your community strong. Right? Is your community strong? Is that that brotherhood, etc. That's what you need to be focusing on. Actually, when we were speaking about this, one of our teachers gave a story because he was trying to describe how the Arabs were. So you need to understand how difficult it was. And this is the type the Arabs were. And the story he gave about it actually was that. Trying to describe how the Arabs were arrogant at that time. And he spoke about a particular Arab who was arrogant, and it's a case of, look, so-and-so is not, as soon as our children are of age, then others should be kind of serving them straight away. That's who we are. That's who our tribe is, etc. So this Arab actually was a king as well. So you got double. And he said, look, is there anyone who will... Is there anyone here, or he would ask them, is there anyone that would not even serve my mother? Their mother would not serve my mother. Meaning, service, we see as, like in Islam, we talk about service, service for the people, etc. It's an honor. That time it wasn't a case of, no, it's like, you serve me. So there was a lot of arrogance. Anyway, they mentioned some guy. Yeah, he's this, and he won't. So he come out with a situation where he managed to invite that guy, that other particular Arab to his palace or whatnot house for a meal. Okay? And so what happens? He comes and he says, "Bring your mother along with you." So what happens is that the guy comes, and this guy is so arrogant that he does not remove his sword. So normally when you're kind of in the presence of kings, etc., you remove your sword or gun or whatnot, but he doesn't. He's so arrogant, he keeps it. So what he does is, him and the king, they kind of go off from one place, and the mothers, so both their mothers are in another room, so they're being served, etc. And then eventually the king's mother tells their servants, off you go, clear the way. So she had something in plan, so she goes to the other mother of the Arabs to say that, oh, can you just pass me that, I don't know, water or whatnot on that side, can you just pass me that, please? Right? And what would have been easy is she just passed it over, here you go. But she was like, you got to show the arrogance, is like, you're the host, serve yourself. Right? You're the host, serve yourself. So anyway, there's a bit of hoo-ha that goes about, kind of voices raised. And the other side, when this particular Arab, he hears this, he doesn't ask any questions. He pulls out his sword, kills the king. Pulls out his sword and kills the king, just over there. Then he goes back to his people, oh, get ready, we're going to be going into war. So this is the type of people they were dealing with, right? This is the type of people that we're dealing with. This is the type of people the Prophet ﷺ was trying to change, where racism and clan was so deep. So the Prophet ﷺ established his brotherhood. And there's still times actually when these old kind of feuds amongst the Aus and the Khazraj kind of arise. Yeah, actually it was a time, and interestingly, the Munafiq and the hypocrites, they would try to ignite this again. They say, oh, remember, it's only a while ago that these guys were kind of fighting each other. So they would sit in and they say something like this, and then the other party would say something like that, and then they'll get up ready to fight, and then the Prophet ﷺ, say, look, even when I'm around you, you guys are doing this, going back to the time of ignorance, and then they feel a bit shame. But actually, this was another aspect that the Prophet ﷺ had to deal with, because this was a new concept, munafiq, hypocrites. When in Makkah, there was no munafiq. You were either a Muslim, because what you understand is you're going to Medina now. Now there's benefits of becoming a Muslim, right? Because it's a state in itself, and the ruler is Muslim. The Prophet ﷺ there. So there's benefits in becoming a Muslim. So even if you don't believe in it, you'll say, yeah, I'm a Muslim. And this is where the hypocrisy comes about from. Hence why this new concept of munafiq, new concept of hypocrisy, right? And the Prophet ﷺ had to deal with that as well now, right? He had to deal with that as well now. So like I said, both parties had something to offer. The Muhajir and the Tarbiyah and the Ansar had their skills. So the Prophet ﷺ then teamed them up, Muhajir and Ansar, together. And Ansar would give everything, like half of everything they had. And this is again, subhanAllah, we can learn from this again, that no questions asked. Here you go. No questions asked, here you go. Just to help them out. So there's this like entering into Medina. The Prophet ﷺ coming out of his comfort zone. Again, messages for us that we need to get out of our comfort zone as well. And even further than that now, when you're going to have difficult situations, right? And the iman of these people will be tested so much, right? Just around the corner now. A year later, you have Badr, famous Battle of Badr, where you've got this massive army on one side, and then you've got this small group on the other side. And this, again, it's all coming back down to how the Prophet ﷺ, the tarbiyah of the people, he prepared them. So he was working so hard in Makkah with that group, with the Muhajir, with the migrants, who now have to kind of take on that role to pass it on to the Ansar. Now, one of the things here you can say is that, well, wait a minute, but the Prophet ﷺ still is going to be there. But when the Prophet ﷺ went to Medina, he just became so much more busy there. He was the center of attention there. Everyone would come to him, question after question. You have delegations that would come to him to visit him, etc. So the Prophet ﷺ was busy. So it was the role of that team. I think it was a couple of years ago we spoke about the quiet call, so basically the secret call, and then you had the open call. In the secret call, the Prophet ﷺ was almost building his team, these core people that are important, building his team that now it's about spreading out. And for us, what we can take from that is also that we should be building our core teams as well. Everyone has their roles, all right? Everyone is good at something. Okay, we can't expect everyone to be doing the same thing. It's like you need doctors, you need nurses, you need kind of the dentists, you need this, you need plumbers, builders. Everyone has their part there. Everyone has their role. Same thing here is, right? You can't expect everyone to be the same when it comes to passing the religion and all that. Right? Build your core team. Here you go. Then you pass it on. And then the responsibility of those to then further pass it on. And this is how it spreads out. Hence how we've got the religion here. The Prophet ﷺ, he built his core team with people around him who then were able to then pass it to the next generation, then to the next generation. And this is important, continuously passing it on, going forward. We're running short on time. I did want to kind of speak a bit more about the Median period, but we'll try to do that next week, which will be the last show, inshallah, for Ramadan. So we'll touch upon some of the aspects of Medina, maybe not as much that I probably would like, but also kind of suppose touch upon Eid and how the Prophet ﷺ's Eid was, and what of some of the things that we can do for Eid. But the kind of suppose takeaway for today, as much as all these things we spoke about getting out your comfort zone, challenging yourself, all that. But the immediate, I suppose, short-term goal here is the last 10 days of Ramadan, or last 10 nights of Ramadan. Please do not neglect them as key. And I suppose I want to leave on this message, as much as I kind of started on this message, I want to leave on this message that don't have that regret. I mean, like I said, we'll always have the regret that we did not do enough. And we should have that, because we can't truly do enough. But what's important here is that we do something at least. All right, it's not a case of you've completely neglected it, and you've just treated it as any normal day outside of Ramadan. You know, your typical Sunday, your typical Monday, etc. On a day off, just be lazy. It's last 10 nights, less than that now. You know, just over a week left. So put your effort in. I know people might be tired. For those that have been doing so much during Ramadan, people will be tired, but just that one last push, inshallah, to make the most of the ending of Ramadan. You know, and we're based on our endings. You know, it's like how you end is what it truly kind of settles with you. So whatever you've done, it's not to say like everything you've done previously is ignored. No, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accept all that. But here is an opportunity where you can truly maximize your ibadah. So don't let it go, inshallah. So may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make it easy for everyone. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accept everyone's ibadah throughout this month of Ramadan, and continually the last few days, nights, that whatever ibadah we do, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accept that, and make it easy for us. وصلى الله سيدنا مولانا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم عليه. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.